The Milepost Zero update for Fallout 76 introduces a new way to acquire legendary gear. And because of this, the value of 1-star legendary items has changed. Since the new legendary modding system involves scrapping legendary items, there is finally a reason to get excited about all legendary enemies, including 1-stars. The new farming method I go over will be especially useful to players who do not have a stockpile of legendary items to scrap, and would like more chances to acquire legendary mod boxes or learn the recipes for 1-star legendary traits, such as Quad, Unyielding, and Overeaters. All players should at least take note of this overlooked and underrated legendary farming source. I've been playing this game since it launched, and this is not an exaggeration. There has never been a more convenient source for a legendary enemy. I'm referring to the static Sheepsquatch spawn that's located right here by the southern edge of the Skyline Valley region. Last month, I went over all the new farming opportunities in Skyline Valley, and left this detail out because I felt it deserved its own video. If you've ever found this daily or weekly challenge to be too time-consuming, you can save that reroll for something else. What's important to know about this guaranteed Sheepsquatch spawn is that it has a near guaranteed chance to be legendary, anywhere from a 1 to a 3-star. I'm not saying this is the best or fastest way alone to farm legendary enemies. What I am suggesting is that in addition to the already established best ways to farm legendary items, you can add this reliable farm to your routine and get even more legendary items to scrap along the way. And for players wondering, yes, you can server hop and continuously farm this Sheepsquatch. For this video, I tried it for about an hour, and I ended up with 58 legendary items, mostly all 1-star. If you set yourself up here or nearby, you'll still have that extremely high chance to get that extra legendary item every time you log in, as well as all the chances you'll get during your play session when you return to the area. So be sure to set up a vending machine here to attract other players, because other players traveling into the area will increase the frequency of the Sheepsquatch respawning. If you return here often or set yourself up right next to the Sheepsquatch, you'll face a reliable source for additional legendary enemies at your convenience. That's why this Sheepsquatch is unprecedented and worth the attention of anyone who cares about legendary gear. For example, I'll soon be looking to convert this legendary fixer to a quad version. Let's look a little closer at some of these effects. We have 2 effects that come with every fixer by default. I also have a prime automatic mod, which is where this effect comes from. But none of these effects are legendary, so let's ignore them for now. The 3 legendary traits are Exterminators, Rapid, and VATS Optimized. So I am just 1 legendary mod box away from making this the weapon I always wanted, and I could achieve this in several ways. I could acquire the mod box or ability to craft quad mods by scrapping legendary items with the quad prefix. Or I could get the mod from another player, but luckily, to get that chance to unlock the quad box mod, it doesn't matter whether I scrap a 1-star quad item or a 3-star quad item, the odds are the same. Here's an example of what I'm describing. I have these 2 bloodied items, and if I were to scrap both, the chance of unlocking the bloodied mod and recipe would be the same from both. But because I am not a melee build, the value of these 2 items is pretty much equal, because the 2nd and 3rd-star traits on this cultist blade can only be attached to melee weapons, which doesn't apply to me. I also want to modify these legendary Secret Service armor pieces to Unyielding or Overeaters. And given that 1-star items are more common than 3-star items, most players will likely be able to mod 1-star traits before 3-star traits. Rarity aside, it also really comes down to what gear you have already. So be sure to review your inventory for items like this, and always read the legendary traits carefully before you script or scrap. Because like me, you may just be a 1-star trait away from getting that perfect legendary item you always wanted. This is why this almost always legendary Sheepsquatch appeals to me, and should to most players. And if you're a completionist who wants to unlock every plan and recipe in the game, there are 96 total legendary traits, and 35 are the 1-star traits. So if that's your goal, I highly recommend setting yourself up here or somewhere nearby to make that grind a little less extreme. Let's explore the ways that we can make farming this legendary Sheepsquatch even more convenient. As you can see, I've set up a bunch of turrets to help me take out the legendary Sheepsquatch. In a situation like this, where the entire purpose is to farm the legendary as quickly and efficiently as possible, turrets are highly recommended. They take up a lot of budget. But just look at what's happening here as I'm logging into the server. In real life, I'm still off doing something and haven't picked up my controller yet, but the turrets are dealing with the Sheepsquatch on their own, and I can still loot the Legendary even if I haven't tagged the Sheepsquatch. If you're curious about my turret setup, I prefer using a mix of heavy laser and heavy missile turrets. This works great for me, but you might want to experiment a little to get the most optimal setup for you. But I need to warn you, the turrets will not protect you from the insults from the insult bot.
People call you a hoarder.
Crippling both legs of the Sheepsquatch is also a great idea, especially if you want the Sheepsquatch to look foolish and puny. Now, I'm a typical bloodied commando build, which means that Tormentor is the appropriate crippling perk card for my build. I'm not sure exactly what the weak point of the Sheepsquatch is, but you can't go wrong with bats to the head. Honestly, with my turrets, I'm not even worried about it. But that's it for me, so please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching.